Welcome back to another online review by PBJ Learning. I have found out about this Empower Youth program from I Empathize from another group today, and I wanted to go ahead and give this a try. So I got myself a login, and we are going to do this together for the very first time. So I'm going to flip over and let you see what I'm looking at. All right, this is their page. It's on iempathize.org. Slash EYP, which I guess is Empower Youth Program. And let us see. So facilitated usually means that it's something that's done in person, right? So somebody facilitates, but it looks like they have a thing called facilitating online. And we're going to go ahead and do the rest of this page. Before we click that, starting off with why teach exploitation prevention. Let's see what we get here.
Please don't push me because I'm over dramatic. Push me over the edge, I'll be in your head like 2 plus 2, simple mathematics. It's not my fault I was born into a family of addicts. Pills are your drug, my drug be erratic. Since his parents are never around, Dale chooses to hit the streets to take a breath. He starts to get into trouble a lot at school, but with his parents gone, there doesn't seem to be any real fallout. Given what is going on at home for Marie, she is relieved when a guy on Facebook starts paying her lots of attention. She wants a boyfriend to look out for her, and he says he'll take care of her.
It's really important to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and to open yourself up to the fact that other people hurt too.
This girl has been misled into believing the lies are true.
You are not what you've been through.
She won't give up.
Who empathize? I empathize.
Whew. I certainly understand that mindset. Empathy is the way to get through to people. And everything they were describing in there is just more ways to describe how people have become vulnerable to exploitation. This is a serious issue. It's interesting they cover bullying in this as well. That's really important. The commercial sexual exploitation in the U.S. is part of a $32 billion criminal industry. Purpose of these crimes of sexual exploitation: view schools as a prime location. Yeah. To recruit new pimps. Interesting. I haven't ever heard it called that, but that is exactly what is happening. Youth also. Yep. This is exactly right. So we're going to go ahead and click this survivor's perspective. We're going to open it into a new window or a new tab, and the executive summary will open that into a new tab. Let's see what we got. So it's a blog post. I will put this in the review so you can have access to it, and I will put this in the review as well. Let's see. Register online. Now I just registered, so I'm curious if this is a new program. Okay, good. This is the one I was trying to take. Okay, so this is telling me more about the program. Okay, we got a free preview here. Look at these steps. Free webinar. Okay, so it's designed for youth serving environments, traditional academic classrooms. Yeah, lots of these things are classroom stuff. 2 short films per lesson, questions, activities. Lines with Common Core. Available through DVD and guidebook. Interesting. All right, let's see what it says. What are the schools saying?
When I'm looking at a minutes during the day, and I remember that I have the chance to impact the rest of someone's life with the Empower Youth program. That's something that I choose to do first.
I'm Merlin Namath. I live in Golden, Colorado. As donors, we've been involved with I Empathize since the very beginning. My wife is a teacher, and she's used the Empower Youth program the last 2 years. And she comes home and talks about just, the different kids who have come up to her and said how it made a difference in their lives.
Some of the topics that come up is, the issue of human trafficking. How do you talk to a 14-year-old student about that? You have kids who are very aware and have had experienced some degree of exploitation themselves, to students who are very naive and who've led very protected lives. So then, as a facilitator in the room, you're faced with having to navigate all those differences. But I found that the way the program is set up and the vocabulary and the content of each module gave me everything I needed to do. What do you do when you recognize that somebody needs empathy from you? You kind of have an idea of what to do. They don't want to receive it.
Do I try to push and I don't want to make you feel bad? Or do I step back but I don't want you to do something hurt? Yeah.
The number one thing I teach in health class is prevention. It fell right in line with my mental health unit that I'm required to teach. And the modules were so interesting. The kids were engaged. They loved doing all the activities. They liked discussion time, reflection time.
Which person will you be? The person who chooses to walk by, or the person who says, I empathize?
When the kids hear the people in the videos speak, they're given the language and the context, so there's some very concrete examples for us to talk about. We don't have to talk about all the what-ifs.
You learn red flags of someone who may be mistreating you or using you.
I've certainly sometimes felt where I'm totally alone and no one will understand, but it's not that way, because there's a lot of people that have gone through the same situation.
I really took a good look at my friends and thought about it really, really hard, and just kind of thought about the actions that they take and how it would affect me.
We had 2 or 3 students recognize that a person in their life was trying to take advantage of them. Having found out was kind of scary. We were glad that we did this program.
My goal is I would like the students to be fully aware of this huge problem, and that they know what they can do if something is happening.
I've struggled with identifying people to trust and go to when I do need help, so that was really big for me.
I can really see the fruits of our giving through I Empathize. It goes back into creating programs to help prevent kids from becoming victims or even being perpetrators themselves later.
If the Empower Youth program was implemented nationwide, it would be a huge impact. It would change student behaviors, it would increase awareness, and ultimately it would prevent child exploitation.
We all teach because we care about and we love our students, and sending them out into the world can be scary. And this is really a way that we can equip them and protect them when we can't be with them.
Well, I tell you what, those are some people that are doing some amazing work. Kids are in an incredibly difficult position right now, given the way that the internet works. Social media is being used against them to manipulate them. It's unbelievable. So let's keep going. Let's see. Scholarship application. Okay, so it's licensed on a 1 year. I have a feeling I need to reach out to these guys and see if they'd be interested in taking a look at our VR program from Radical Empathy. I think there'd be some really, really interesting things to learn from that. Okay, so the teen and adult trainings online. I wonder if that's different than the other one. Okay, so we've got the Empower Youth program here. It's a little different. We're going to try them all. Okay, so we're going to put this guy up on the page. We'll put this up on the deal. All right. I'm going to make sure I get all the things correct. Okay, so this blog, we'll put that up there as well. Complimentary webinar. I'll make sure I get them all. So that's, okay, that's the same one. All right. Here we go. Empower Youth Program Online, starting the course. Oh, okay, good. I didn't click it. Let's see. Welcome to the Empower Youth Program Online. We're glad you're here. The Empower Youth Program is an innovative tool that equips you with the power to save from people in situations that intend to take advantage of you and your friends. We call these people exploiters. That's right. They want to find a weakness or need in our lives, and then will use that to deceive us and trick us into doing something that benefits only them. That's a fact. That people are looking for vulnerabilities, and they will also perform an interview just to figure out how bad it is. As you go through these lessons, you'll learn about the strategies exploiters use. And somebody's going to let me edit this. To take advantage of us and the strategies you can use to stay safe from exploitation. The adults who are facilitating this program with you are here to support on the journey. The youth educators, artists, film crews, and everyone who built the Empower Youth Program shared their stories to inspire you and share yours with people you can trust. Exploitation comes in many forms, such as bullying, neglect, and emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Human trafficking, perhaps the most extreme form of exploitation, is a form that most of us know little about, yet it occurs in virtually every U.S. community. Many factors can make this vulnerable to exploitation. Personal factors such as poverty, unstable home environments, and cultural factors such as hypersexualized media can push us into vulnerability. Damn straight. Exploitative people target those who are vulnerable, seeking to pull them down further in order to obtain personal gain. We need to be empowered to safely navigate the factors in our lives that could otherwise make us vulnerable to exploitation. The Empower Youth Program unveils the system of negative pushes and pulls. I like hearing about pushes and pulls. That's a concept that's starting to, I guess, come in front of me more often. That entrap us and empowers you with alternative positive pulls that can lead us to success and safety. Wow, the 2021 apathy effect exhibit. That's interesting. Well, that's somebody needs to update this page, but it's all right because here we go. We're going to start the course. Please go back and complete the previous lesson. All right. Choosing empathy. Okay. Let's see. It's the beginning one. What am I supposed to do? Continue. Back to course. Continue course. Well, something's going on. All right, here we go. What's the name of the school or organization? Well, I'm taking it at PBJ Learning. All right, go ahead. Somebody's reviewing this stuff. I know what empathy is. Yes, I definitely know what that is. Yes, I know what exploitation is. Yes, I can name 3 things that make a person vulnerable. Do you feel like you've been pushed into a hole and have no? Thankfully, I do not. Name of my organization, PBJ Learning. Finish assessment. Results are being recorded. I love the way they do that. Okay, click here to continue. What is the name? I just did that. All right, this is just a limitation of LearnDash, I'm assuming. All right, so watch the video. Here we go.
In every neighborhood, both exploitation and empathy are at work. Exploitation is taking advantage of someone else when they are vulnerable in order to benefit in some way yourself. At some level, all of us have exploited someone. If I bully someone to get a laugh out of my friends, I'm gaining in popularity or power for being funny. But I've also just used someone so that I can get something out of it for myself. That's exploitation. Exploitation comes in many forms. Bullying is just one of them. The problem is, the more insensitive we become to something like bullying, the more likely we are to feel numb about stronger forms of exploitation or things that can lead to exploitation. Things like neglect, failing to take care of someone when they need it, or isolation, causing someone else to remain separate, alone, or emotional or physical abuse, intentionally inflicting pain on someone, and sexual abuse, when one person forces a sexual act on another. We can even become numb to something as severe as human trafficking, where one person sells another either for labor or for sex. Human trafficking is modern-day slavery. Because the truth is, exploitation is all around us, but a lot of us don't see it, or at least we don't react to it. We walk down a path lined by exploitation and close our eyes to the reality that it's all around us. Some of us even add to the path of exploitation, but you can choose not to go down that road. You can choose the path of empathy. Empathy is seeing someone else's suffering and choosing to engage it, to try to help them out, to walk in their shoes. Empathy is saying that you're not okay with exploitation of any kind, and you're going to do what it takes to make it stop. And if you are the one who is suffering because someone else has harmed you, if you're the one who needs some empathy to help you out, there is hope for you to find a new path too. Daryl and Marie are two teens living in a big city. Daryl lives in a house with his parents. Marie lives in an apartment across town with a single mom. Daryl and Marie both have pretty everyday lives. They go to school, they hang out with their friends, they come home and play video games and spend time on Facebook just like everyone else. My name is Prinjaston Sykes. Very complicated name, so I go by PJ. Till this day, I think about, I didn't have a childhood because I had to do the things that I had to do in order to survive, and that wasn't my responsibility in the first place. I was about 11 years old. We were staying in a motel, and my mom encouraged me and my big brother to go out and sell her poetry on the street and in neighborhoods and things like that. It was really hard because, going to school and, I'm talking to my friends, what are you guys doing after school? I'm gonna go home and play video games. I'm gonna go home and, kick it, play some sports. And the only thing I'm thinking about is I have to go home and I have to get ready to go out to make money to put food on the table. About 5.5 years ago, I was in a place, it was a residential treatment facility, and I was there because I wasn't right with myself and I actually wanted to commit suicide. And these people came into my life and they completely changed my life, and they let me know that I can be something powerful and I can do big things in this world if I just access my inner voice and let the world know what I have to say. If these people didn't come into my life and weren't empathetic and actually did something about the place that I was at and helped me be a successful person, then I wouldn't be here right now. Here's the point of everything you'll experience in the Empower Youth program. Number 1, there are people who want the best for you in this world, but there are also people who would take advantage of you if they got the opportunity. That's exploitation. Number 2, you also need to know that empathy is a path away from exploitation. You can choose to surround yourself with people who are empathetic or be empathetic yourself. That is the ultimate way of ending exploitation. Empathy equals ending it. You must think you're cool with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But you don't bother putting 2 feet in and figure me out. You think Google Maps will tell you to walk in 2 different routes? All I ask is that you meet me halfway on 16th and Stout. There's only one destination. Count on you, I used to love, no doubt. Now every time I ask for your help, your mouth goes dry like a drought. They all scream for ice cream, I was broke, so I just shout. Biggest struggle in life was a dollar amount. I said thank you, fam, for you want to be empathy. You're my motivation. Thanks for your synergy. Your cold hands around my neck is my adrenaline's energy. Built up to fight back. Said I know y'all are feeling me. I thought I had the full package like Comcast Xfinity. All this pain that I went through, I never found a home remedy. I wish I had a father as a mister. I remember that day I cried out for my sister. You introduced drugs, hate, razors, and tears that flowed like rivers. I remember that day I slipped out on the ice and I got a bloody blister. You ran me into mama, you were such a caring sister. Little brother, listen closely to the story I deliver. You can't spend your whole life just being a giver. Mom, I hope you're living life, although every day you're seeing a medic. Mama, I'm living life, when I die I'll be a relic. I'm holding all the cards, so I'm taking all the credit. Trying to chase after your love like my energy's kinetic. Had to stand on top of my community just to gauge my own aesthetic. You people say you're empathetic, with your 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You people are pathetic.
Hi. My name is Taylor and I empathize. I had a pretty typical childhood, I would say, from the outside. I was a very typical kid. I did sports, I loved art, was very talkative, very much attached to my father. And from the outside, I looked like a typical, normal young adult, but I had a rough childhood. I myself had struggled with an alcoholic father, sexual abuse, physical abuse, self-mutilation, addiction, living on the streets. So when my dad drank, he was very angry and very much abusive. So my dad was physically abusive, bad. Starting from like 4, so it was something that, I dealt with pretty severely on a daily basis that nobody knew about. It didn't feel good. It made me feel like I didn't deserve to be loved the way that other kids were loved. It was really, there was a lot of shame that went with it. Why is it my father, or why does other people not have to deal with it and I have to deal with it? So I witnessed my dad take his life. He shot himself, and his last words to me were "F you." And that was detrimental to my life. After he took his life, I lost everything. I lost my home, I lost my family, every physical possession I had, and I was just taken and I was placed into foster care where I did not have a good experience. So after that, I went onto the streets, and by choice, I figured if bad things were going to happen, I might as well be the cause of the bad things. That way I could have some sort of control in the situation. This is what empathy means to me. It's really important to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and to open yourself up to the fact that, other people hurt too. And it's not just about you, and this world isn't just you. I think sometimes we live in these very selfish, self-centered cycles where it's all about us. We're the only one that's hurting. We're the only one that's been, done wrong. It's all about us. And really you need to open it up to the fact that you could be in a room with 20 people and 18 of them can be going through something that's heartbreaking. And it may not be the same situation that you have, but it's heartbreaking.
Woo! I don't know about you, but that stuff was kind of tough to listen to. I think the beginning of it was big enough, and then we got the stories from the real human beings. Okay, so that was a lot. Let's see. Watch the video above and take the quiz below. Let's see. Objectives. Students will be able to explain the difference between empathy, sympathy, and apathy. Students will be able to define exploitation. They'll be able to demonstrate solutions to problems in their own communities. Let's see. This quiz will test your knowledge on exploitation and the difference between apathy, sympathy, and empathy. Exploitation is taking advantage of someone else when they are vulnerable in order to benefit. Yep, that is true. Check. Correct. Next question. Okay, good. So it's still doing it down at the bottom right. So this quiz will test your next and move the definition to match the word. I love this. This is great. Sympathy is passive and empathy is active. Great job, whoever put this together. And it's green and everything. So they're using different plugins than we use on our program, but this is pretty exciting. This quiz, okay, let's see, I can create solutions to the problem only by, no. Feeling bad doesn't do anything. There it is. Look, even an answer telling me, oh, nice, way to go, reminding me. All right, I got another assessment. So they're doing assessments every time. Interesting. I'm going to get some wrong later and see what happens. So marking this, I'm going to do click here to continue because I think this is one of those weird bug things that LearnDash has. Yeah, back to the same thing. I hate when it does that. Yeah, I don't need to complete the previous lesson. I just did it. All right, I'm going to say mark complete. Yeah, you have to mark it complete every time. Woo! This little block they have right here, man, this is troublesome. It's a lot of vulnerabilities. All right, here we go.
Three people walk by an empty lot. They hear someone calling out from a hole. The first person who walks by feels pretty badly. She realizes that the person in the hole is caught in a situation he can't get out of. She feels sympathy. Oh well, she thinks, better mind my own business, there's nothing I could do. The second person who walks by notices what is going on but doesn't care. That's your problem, not mine, she thinks. She is apathetic, so she keeps walking and immediately forgets what she just saw. The third person who walks by, however, has empathy. He could show empathy in a couple of different ways. He could grab a rope and try to get the guy out of the hole himself, or he could find someone trustworthy to help out, because sometimes you need a team of people to help with big problems. The point is that he will do something. Even if he doesn't understand why this person is in the hole, even if he can't relate or feels differently, he certainly gets that being in the hole would be awful.
Sometimes people end up in difficult situations that they can't get out of on their own. That's what the hole represents. Empathy is a choice to help someone out of that hole. Which person will you be? The person who chooses to walk by, or the person who says, I empathize?
Well, that was a little bit shorter. Good nonetheless. I was going to mention that there was a giant hole sitting there I didn't see before, but it seemed kind of silly. All right. Would you like to have a proactive plan for navigating the difficult situations in life? Well, you better believe I would. All right. Feel free to leave a comment. I love your analogy of the quote hole to symbolize people that need help. Sure do. Finish assessment. Assessment complete. You know, you can't change the words. Click here to continue. Negative pushes. Again, I've been hearing these things for a while, so I can't wait to hear what their description of a negative push is.
Daryl's parents work a lot and are hardly ever home. He starts to get into trouble a lot at school, but with his parents gone, there doesn't seem to be any real fallout. He starts to skip school often. Marie's mom remarries. Her new stepdad begins to pay unwelcome attention to her, becoming sexually abusive. And on top of everything, Marie feels out of place at school, where she is bullied 24/7 and feels very lonely. Daryl and Marie both have things going on in their life at school and home that make them feel pushed. I have pushes too. We all do, some more than others. It's important to have a plan to manage your pushes. This next poem is about how I learned to manage the pushes in my life. Please don't push me because I'm overdramatic. Push me over the edge, I'll be in your head like 2 + 2, simple mathematics. It's not my fault I was born into a family of addicts. Pills are your drug, or my drug be erratic. Everyone said my sister would be a real good actress. Truth is, she just woke up on the wrong side of the mattress. Only reason why I know is cause she pushed me off the bed, landed straight on my head, so I pushed her off me and chose life instead. I had some self-reflection, was it really worth putting a gun to my head? Blood in my eyes, blood in my heart, my whole life turned red. Y'all can keep pushing me, and when you do, I'll never stop pushing. I use hate and disgrace as my personal whoopee cushion.
There's a lot of situations that push you into things that you wouldn't necessarily do by choice. For me, one of the things that, pushed me out into doing drugs and stuff like that was just the way my childhood was set up. I couldn't control the fact that my mother has mental illness, and I can't control the fact that my dad took his life. And in those situations, just setting it up the way it does pushes you to have to survive and having to make choices that you typically wouldn't make if circumstances were different.
The pushes in life are things you can't control that make you vulnerable. Vulnerability happens when you don't have provision for your needs, like food, shelter, clothing, affection, and support. Or you don't have protection to give you security, comfort, and community. Or when you have someone in your life who makes false promises.
But life happens, and there's a lot that you can't control, and yes, there are circumstances that aren't always in your favor that can push you to make not the most positive choices, but you can't control those things, and that sucks. But you can control a lot in how you respond to the things that push you into bad situations. You are not what you've been through. I'm a good person. I am not the things that pushed me into making bad choices, and you aren't the things that pushed you into making bad choices either.
Like Taylor said, the pushes in your life don't have to define you. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, or you don't have a lot of support, or you feel alone. It's important to learn how to navigate the negative pushes in your life. The more pushes you have, the more natural it is to run away from them. I get that. The problem is, some people may want to take advantage of the pushes in your life. If you go looking for what you're missing, you have to make sure you're looking in a place that will provide authentic provision, protection, and promises. So here goes a story about Samantha. Here's how it went down.
Samantha lived with her mom in a rough neighborhood. Her mom wasn't around very much because she was always working so hard to provide for the family, so Samantha often felt alone. This was a major negative push in her life. She felt isolated and didn't have a lot of security at home. Her friend met an older guy who became her boyfriend. He started to treat both girls to parties and gifts, the kind of lifestyle they always wanted. They weren't getting the attention and security they needed at home, and he seemed to really care about them. But then the boyfriend started asking both girls to make money for him by selling sex. Because he developed a fake relationship with them at first, the girls still thought he was basically a good guy. He manipulated them by taking advantage of their vulnerabilities. This is exploitation through human trafficking, when one person sells another by taking advantage of them. You might ask yourself, how does someone end up in a situation like this where they are trafficked for sex? The answer is that these were people who had negative pushes in their lives, and then someone came along who took advantage of those pushes instead of empathizing. Samantha didn't have a plan to navigate the pushes in her life, so instead, she just went with the flow. Not everyone who is dealing with negative pushes will experience exploitation like this, but if you have a plan to navigate your negative pushes, you'll be on your way to ensuring a more safe and successful future for yourself. As you listen to this poem that Samantha wrote, listen for the pushes she had to navigate and the strength she shows now that she has come through them.
Who's the girl? Just wanted respect. Who's the girl? Her innocence she must protect. Who's the girl? So aware, yet so confused. You can't trust in her because she won't trust in you. Who's the girl? Lost, yet so found. Who's the girl? I often hear her weeping sound. Who's the girl? Stuck in the same world with different faces. Who's the girl? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Who's the girl? Running through every open door. Who's the girl? Searching for something that's worth searching for. Some people say it's respect. This girl will forgive, but she just can't forget. Who's the girl? Haunted by her past, wanting to be first, expecting to be last. Who's the girl? What happened to her passions? Who's the girl? She gave it to her past hymns. Who's the girl? Two people in one person in two. This girl has been misled into believing the lies are true. Who's the girl? Soft, but acting tough, only to avoid the struggle. She's just been through enough. Who's the girl that even when she's stuck, it doesn't matter what, 'cause she won't give up? Who's the girl? Someday, one day, will break free. Who is this girl? That girl, she's me.
Wow, there was again, just a lot of stuff going on there. The graphics were amazing. I know that seems silly for me to say, but the way that they told the story with the words and the graphics was inspiring and compelling. So many little things went through there that I was just like, man, I want a screenshot of that. Of course, the poem was amazing, and all of the stories were just outrageous. Woo! Yeah, vulnerabilities. That's what's happening to our kids nowadays. It's really bad. I don't know. I guess I'd really say kind of worse than ever because it's so easy to have access to our children. All right, objective. Explain the concept of negative personal and cultural pushes and apply it to their lives. In the video, Daryl and Marie have things going on in their lives that make them feel pushed. These negative pushes make them feel vulnerable. A negative push is a factor that pushes a person or group of people into vulnerability. Well, to me, I hate to think I got it backwards, but that seems it. Correct. Got it right. All right. Match these terms. I love this. Good job on the word drags. Okay. Match these terms. So, manipulating someone to take advantage of their vulnerabilities would be exploitation. Capable of being hurt, that's vulnerable. And one person sells another, human trafficking. Okay, well, let's be honest. That is not the definition. But it's good enough for what we're doing right now. Man. Wow. It's also it's a nice, brief way to say it. Hey, we got all those right. Finished assessment. You know what? We're gonna click there to continue. I'll take that again. All right, here we go. We're gonna say no. We're gonna get all these wrong. Oh, here we go. Nice. Negative push in life things you can't control. Does not have to define you. That's right. If you do, perfect. Look at that. That's great. Let's see. Let's get them all wrong. Incorrect. Finish assessment. All right. I think we should mark complete. Yeah, let's do it. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's keep going. I think this time I'm going to stay on and I'm going to talk through it because this is a lot of stuff. That's already depressing.
There are a lot of things that can make you feel pushed. The more pushes you have, the harder it is to deal with. Dealing with negative things in life can push you to the edge of a deep hole.
I feel pushed when I get depressed.
I feel pushed when I don't know who to trust.
I feel pushed to participate in the violence in my community.
I feel pushed when my family can't pay the bills.
I feel pushed when people tell me I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough. I feel pushed to be someone I'm not online.
I feel pushed when my family doesn't accept me for who I am.
You know, I got to speak up here. This is the kind of stuff that lawmakers need to understand. I see people that want to deal with everything with an iron fist without really considering any of this. And I think it would be wonderful for people to understand the cultural issues that are being involved. Just being, man, okay, I'm going to keep going. I can't leave my audio on, or it'll make it have a big echo. So I'm just going to keep turning on and off.
I feel pushed when I'm uncertain about where I'm going to live.
I feel pushed to live like what I see in music and movies.
I feel pushed by all the
sexual
violence,
orientation,
bullying,
isolation, loneliness, pressure, media,
sexual
violence, substance
orientation,
neglect,
peer
abuse,
pressure,
mental illness,
neglect, prejudice.
abuse.
I feel pushed when I'm pressured to be sexual.
I feel pushed by all this pressure to objectify girls and sex.
I feel pushed when I don't feel safe.
I feel pushed when I don't feel safe.
We all have negative pushes. It's important to learn how to navigate them. The first step is acknowledging what they are.
Well, that was thoroughly realistic and depressing, and depressingly realistic. I managed to raise two kids, and I don't know how other parents are doing it right now, honestly. Okay, nicely done. One more video and quiz, and I've completed module 2, and 2 out of 5. All right, we're almost halfway done. Do you have a plan for getting through the difficult situations in life? Well, I want to say yes, but man, the answer is not sure. Who has a plan? This section was super realistic and very illuminating. All right, finish assessment, which results are being recorded. Okay, marking complete. Oh, all right, more.
I could take any more deception. Negative pulls, cops pull me over for a negative reflection. Please push me forward, my favorite band is One Direction. Negative pulls, gun to my head, almost pulled the trigger, I forgot my own inception. I wish I wasn't blessed with the power of a man's attestation. Been trying to take a breath, I think I need some ventilation. I wish I can't submit to your rules and regulations. Looking at my life, you would see my hesitation. You stand up for me, what are you? A public defender? You never been in my life, you're just another pretender. I'll drop you off in England, you're a barista. You never could focus in my place of center. I'll step up in your game like a #1 contender. Had a beautiful life, Prince Justin Sykes is a render. Have you listened lately? Have you seen these tears that I've cried? And to dry them up, you tell me that you can't provide. Is this the truth that you lied? You're supposed to ride for me like Bonnie and Clyde. Crazy psycho for me like Jacqueline Hyde. Hold me over your heart like America's pride. What's your juxtaposition? It ain't side by side. I can't believe you learn to be a master of disguise. Who empathize? I empathize.
Feel like you need to fulfill a need, and that's what they prey on.
Some people you meet will try to make you trust them by pretending to be something you need or want. They will try to deceive you by providing things for you, offering to protect you, and making big promises.
Usually pretenders learn about you first, so it's somebody that is attempting to be close to you or somebody that is close to you and learn what your weaknesses are. They're going to become what you lack. So if you are lacking a boyfriend or that love relationship with somebody, they're going to become that relationship to you so that it draws you to them. If you're lacking a father figure, they're going to become this father figure. And they necessarily probably won't start out like that until they know that that's something you struggle with or something that you don't have. And then once they find out this weakness, then their whole demeanor changes to fit what you need so that it's easier for them to take advantage of you, and they reel you in, and then you think this person loves you, and next thing you know, you're making some horrible choices that you would never make, and you're being manipulated into situations that you didn't start out in.
There are 5 disguises that people may use to deceive and trap you. Pretender. Someone who pretends to be something they are not, like a father, a boyfriend, or a sister. Promiser. Someone who promises you great things, like an amazing dream job, a great lifestyle, or travel. Provider. Someone who offers to take care of your needs for food, clothes, and a place to live. Protector. Someone who uses physical power or intimidation to protect you and also control you. When the other disguises begin to stop working, the last one shows up. Punisher. Someone who uses violence and threats to control you. Learning who to trust is also about learning who not to trust. When you learn how to recognize someone's disguise, you'll be able to choose not to trust them.
Woo! I think that is that is a lesson that there are some adults that I know that need to understand. I think I might have to be showing some people this. Okay, a positive pull is something or someone who takes advantage of a person's vulnerabilities. Come on, guys, apostrophe. People that do nice things for you are always a positive pull. Oh, that's a tough one. A positive pull is something or someone who takes advantage of a person's vulnerabilities. People that do nice things for you are always a positive pull. I guess I'm going to say no because I'm supposed to be learning I'm getting tricked. What a shame. In the video, Daryl and Marie were experiencing negative pulls from different people. A negative pull is something or someone who takes advantage of the vulnerability created by the pushes in our lives. Okay. Oh, I see. All right. So to protect me, that's the protector. Somebody pretend offers. Okay, pretend. Well, they got even use the word in here. Come on, guys. Okay. I can't really. Okay, so that's the provider. I know I got to get to the Punisher, but I guess I got to zoom out. That's not good. That can't work on a phone. All right, I got all those right. Kind of, kind of bummed that they use protect in there and pretend and promises. At least they shouldn't say punish. They didn't use provider here. Maybe the thing is that it's not like we're trying to get people to get it wrong. We're trying to get people to actually recognize it. And of course, interactive stuff is 6 times better than reading it. All right, we got two questions. We're going to mark complete. All right, we're at the latter half of module 3. Here we go.
Negative pulls often come in the form of people who want to take advantage of your vulnerability. Negative pulls wear disguises. It isn't always obvious that someone is wearing a disguise because the whole point of wearing a disguise is being deceptive. You have to discern whether someone is wearing a disguise or being a real positive pull. You are about to see 3 different examples of negative pulls using disguises. As each one shows up on screen, hold up the index card that matches the disguise. You will have 5 seconds to identify the disguise being used. If you can teach yourself how to identify a disguise, you can choose to surround yourself with people who only want to be positive pulls for you.
Well, I do have to say that again was some stuff that adults could learn from. Let's get this guy back up to full screen size again. There we go. Way to make progress. Watch this video. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Daryl went to his baseball coach. Marie went to her school counselor. Do you have some people that be a positive? Yes, I do. I do bet there'd be some really good discussions in a classroom setting. I'm telling you, I think adults would have problems with this. Okay, we're on module 4. Man, we're an hour in on this thing. 58 minutes. All right, here we go.
Daryl continues to cut school and avoid people he used to know. The more he gets involved with the magazine crew, the more his recruiter begins to train him to take on other roles. Eventually, he is asked to demonstrate his commitment to his crew through acts of violence and rebellion. Soon he'll be asked to pimp out girls to make money. Marie's boyfriend has taken care of her, but at a heavy price. He started demanding sex in exchange for food and a place to live. And he's even started asking her to sleep with his friends to earn him some cash. She does it because he said he loves her, and it seems like a better option than going back home where her stepdad is. Dang, you were there for me. I knew that you would care for me. I tried to expose the monster, but there's no creature that my eyes can see. Did you get mad at me? Yeah, probably, cause I was doing nothing to get about my poverty. My Uncle Sam said, you need to write some poetry. Just come to this workshop and express yourself internally. It was so transformative, I felt like I was Bumblebee, so I made it my passion to be on camera like photography. I got the opportunities and I just take it. Yeah, my life is hard, but I figure life is what you make it. They all just have my back like Liam Neeson from The Taken. They try to kidnap my soul and body, but my supporters say forsaken. They all believed in me. They say, yeah, you can make it. Here goes some money. Get on stage and just start baking. You're there for me like that? And that's a fact. When I was in the streets, I had to say I felt so whack. Then you came into my life, go find a home, here go some stacks. And you're praying every night that I find racks on racks on racks. When someone is there for you, and there's someone who cares for you. When the rough times hit, they'll comfort you like some Theraflu. When you're feeling kinda ugly, they'll say that you're beautiful. There are people who love you, and that no cost it is free. And if you're seeing something else, then just turn the other cheek. A positive pull is someone who has proven that they will not take advantage of you when you're vulnerable. Instead, they will help you succeed. Negative pulls deceive you by wearing disguises. Positive pulls never wear disguises. A positive pull is someone who makes promises that can be trusted and provides for you out of empathy with no strings attached, and offers protection that leads to your safety.
You definitely need somebody to help you for you, because a lot of times you cannot help yourself. I think one of the biggest thing that comes about when young adults are struggling is you tend to push everybody away. I think that's one of the worst things you could do for yourself. Because there are people that can relate. And I remember the biggest thing that I struggled with is I felt so alone. Most of my life, like I had nobody to relate to and nobody to talk to. And usually the problem is because everybody's kind of closed off in their own situation. Either they put themselves in a separate category, like my life is really, really hard and you'll never understand and you can never relate to me, or, that they just are so overwhelmed with what they have going on that they wouldn't want to help anybody else. Our hearts were made to love, and when they're not loved and they're treated badly, they hurt. And we all have that in common, whether it's your dog died or you got an F on your paper or your dad just took his life. Hurt is hurt all across the board. And so keeping yourself open to be able to be helped and loved and listened to, because it is hard to reach out when you're hurting. And you definitely want to isolate and you definitely want to make it seem like you're the worst and nobody else can ever understand, but you have to understand that you're not the worst case scenario. You're not the only person going through this, and that you need to open yourself up to let other people help you.
If negative pulls wear disguises that are purposefully deceiving, how can you tell the difference between a positive pull and a negative pull?
And I don't know if you know what discernment is, but it's being able to tell what people's intentions are and whether their intentions are noble and truthful or if they're to take advantage of you. So somebody that's trying to take advantage of you will start off to just be a friend, and then they'll ask you hundreds of questions to get to know you. Then they'll try to pretend like they relate to you. Whatever it is, whatever needs you're feeling, if you want to just be loved or you just want to be safe, then you'll see them take on that role. They're really inconsistent with things. Their story changes, so listen, pay attention. There are red flags. There are signs that happen. People are being inconsistent. You should get a feeling from somebody that's trying to take advantage of you. There's a little voice in your head that tells you whether something's right or it's not right. And this little voice comes up like you're walking down the street and it's dark and you see an alley. The voice in your head says, don't go down that alleyway because you're by yourself. It's dark. It's nighttime. If you can't swim, there's a voice in your head telling you to not jump in the pool. You need to pay attention because there are flags, and the biggest thing is you notice the flags, but you want to ignore them, and you choose to ignore them. He has bad friends. Like, he surrounds himself with a bad group of people. Pay attention to that. If the first time you guys get in an argument, he comes up to you and raises his hand to you, but he doesn't hit you, pay attention to that. If he is asking you to do things that you're not comfortable with, be it physical or sexual, pay attention to that. Even if you say no and he lets you say no, still pay attention to the fact that he would ask you to do something that's uncomfortable. And listen to those signs.
Wow. That is a smart young woman. Okay, here we go. What types of people can be a part of your positive pull plan? Well, I don't remember them saying anything about a plan, but I definitely can think of somebody or think of what they meant. Yep, all of this stuff. An adult who is not wearing a disguise. That's good to have a nice group of things that you can think about and then realize that there are good people. Nice work. I also want to compliment the people that are doing the camera work on this footage is really good. Okay, which of these traits does not describe a positive pull? So here we go. Someone listens to me. Nope, that's positive. So that's positive. Someone follows through. That's positive. Someone promises things in exchange for that's not good. That makes you feel safe. Yep, that's the one right there. Snuck it in there. I wonder if they put it down at number 4 on purpose, just to make you read good ones first. All right, 2 of 2 questions answered correctly. Little time check here, 1 hour and 6 minutes.
What is a positive pull? A positive pull is someone who does not wear disguises. They offer you real protection. They can provide for your emotional and physical well-being. and they only make promises they can keep.
At this point, we know Daryl and Marie ended up with negative pulls. Daryl and Marie both needed someone in their lives, but they didn't spend a lot of time making sure the people they turned to were worthy of their trust. The person who is wearing a disguise will isolate you so that they are the only one who appears to be helping. They don't bring others in. In fact, they don't even want others to know that they're helping you. They will keep you in the hole so that you will always need them and them only. When they do throw you a line, it's never something that helps you get out of the hole completely. It just helps you get by. And they will make sure you know that you owe them something in return. A positive pull makes sure you know how to get out of the hole you've fallen in, and they stay with you until you do. They will not ask you to do anything illegal or harmful. They will not ask you to conceal who they are from other people. In fact, they are often smart about finding others who can help you out too.
More good stuff. I need to show this to some adults. All right, here we go. If you fell in a hole, do you think you can tell the difference between those that want to keep you in the hole and those that want to help you get out? Yeah, I want to believe that. That was a hell of an example. Great. Finishing the assessment. All right, marking complete. We're getting closer.
No matter where you're from or what type of pushes you have in your life, you can choose to define yourself and help others. This poem is how I choose to define myself. Step back and let me give my formal introduction. My name is Prince Aston Sykes. I was born 1993, September 15th, and it's been 2 times I'd have started out with nothing. I might have had a sippy cup and a couple onesies with loose buttons, but then I saw Tommy from the Rugrats with a t-shirt and a diaper on, and I was glad I was stunting. I may not have a lot of money, but I do like to hang out with a bunch of white kids whose daddy's name was Bill Gluckman. Drake was privileged, started from the bottom, but my bottom was nothing. All these rappers talk about is how the trap house be jumping, but I'll jump in this rap game like a professional stuntman, embraced by hip-hop. Every day my headphones be bumping. I was 12 years old, getting invited to luncheons. I got more popularity than McDonald's McMuffins, and if I was a cartoon character, then I'd have to marry Doc McStuffins. The presence of the power I have is stronger than the nuclear warfare of the Russians. Forget a Cold War. I was born in America, no wonder they were bluffing. You see, it's hard to walk on my own 2 feet like Bambi. Mess with me, forget a SpongeBob, I'll karate chop you like Sandy. I'm always hungry, you gotta keep the Krabby Patty on handy. I was greeted by death with my 2 best friends, Billy and Mandy. Let's go back to 1st grade, where everyone was a winner. Did not like the Ninja Turtle, should have been that villain Splinter. I was defiant, the boy version of Matilda had a sign on my heart that said, please do not enter. But I like to fix my problems on the black bodybuilding. Using the cognitive theory, I knew I didn't have a filter. Master of the elements, I'm a word bender. I'm a true black superhero, should have been on the Avengers. Daryl is glad he's got steady work, but he doesn't like the work itself. He doesn't want to pimp out girls. It makes him think of it happening to his sister, and he wouldn't want that for her. He feels trapped until he remembers a baseball coach from middle school. He always offered to meet with his players if they needed help. Anytime, no judgment. He decides to see if his coach can help him find a way out of the situation. Marie feels ashamed of her circumstances. When she tells her boyfriend that she wants to go back to just being with him and not having to sleep with other guys, he threatens her. Marie is scared, but works up the courage to talk with the school counselor, who tells her that she is not at fault for what has happened. Together, they find a way to get Marie help.
It's very important to be there for somebody else, to support somebody else, to step into somebody else's shoes, to be that positive light for somebody else. And I think the way that everything kind of works, it's kind of like a cycle and it's a circle. You're broken and you're hurting and you need help, and somebody comes in and they pull you up and they love on you and they care for you and they help you achieve your goals, and you're better and you like yourself and you can live today without getting high and you can make good choices. At that point, you need to pass on what that person did for you, and you need to give it to somebody else. And then when the person you're giving it to is able to love themselves and to make healthy choices for themselves, then hopefully they'll want to do the same thing for somebody else. And it's a cycle of love and the cycle of giving and the cycle of helping each other, and it should all link together, because I can guarantee you that person that's there for you and that support for you, they're doing it because somebody else did it for them. You know, you may not be able to physically go and take them out of their situation and make it all better and fix the problem, but what you can do is you can listen to them. And I think listening to somebody is the biggest thing that you can do to help somebody. So there's so many small things you can do. Even if you don't feel like you're changing the world because you're still struggling yourself, there's things that you can do to share love and kindness and empathy. And I think reaching out and being there for somebody is super important, and it looks a ton of different ways. Even it's, you know, somebody is just struggling and they need somebody to talk to, because let's be honest, we're not all superheroes. Doesn't mean that you can't emotionally be there for somebody.
That was some that's some incredible stuff right there. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I've got to give this to some adults, and we're gonna see what comes to that. Maybe I'll make an update to the blog and tell you if I got anybody else to do this stuff. All right, let's get back into this. Wow, man, that was really good, guys. Congratulations. What types of things can you do to show empathy for others suffering? Listen, show love, show kindness. Yeah, all the above. No doubt about that. Next, you can be a positive pull for a friend by reaching out and being there for them. Yep, that's right. Finish assessment. Hoo-wee, man. We have one last activity and quiz. All right, so we got some more video. Well, I still applaud this work, and the graphics, the work that they did here is absolutely fantastic too. All right, here we go.
Like Taylor said, being there for others can make all the difference in their lives. Think back to Daryl and Marie.
If they had people at school or in their neighborhood who were looking out for them, who were being real positive pulls, maybe they wouldn't have ended up being deceived by a negative pull. You could end up being the person in someone's life who prevents them from a lot of heartache and pain. Empathy is the key to ending exploitation, and it can also prevent it from happening in the first place. So how can you take a step of empathy for someone who is in an exploitative situation, whether they're being bullied, or neglected, or abused?
Keep an eye out for friends with negative pushes and negative pulls in their lives. Talk to them, and if there's something you can do to help, do it. If the problem is too big, get help from somebody you can trust. There are all kinds of resources you can go to in a serious situation. If you suspect human trafficking, call the Human Trafficking Hotline. And remember, empathy equals ending it.
You know, I think that was the second time I heard him say empathy means ending it. And I like that. So I'm going to be borrowing that phrase. All right. No right or wrong answer. Is there someone you know who's experiencing negative pushes in their lives is magnificent? Yeah, of course I do. I know a lot of adult women that are having that problem. Yes, I do have people that have a positive pull on me. I love that it says there's no right or wrong answer. Uh, great, great, great content. And bravo. 100% true. Marking complete. All right, now we are on the post-unit survey. I know what empathy is, and I can describe how it's different from sympathy. Yes, I can do that. I understand what exploitation is. Yes, I do. I can name 3 things that can make a person vulnerable. Yep, 100%. Do I feel like I've been pushed into a hole and have no one trust? No, thankfully. And marking complete. That looks like we're done. Okay, so that's back to the beginning. Okay. If you stayed through that whole thing, I got to tell you, man, more power to you, because that was a serious emotional roller coaster for me. I I've been working in the field of human trafficking awareness, prevention, and education for almost 6 years now, and just about everything that they were throwing out there, just about vulnerabilities and societal issues and things like that, are they're critical for people to understand, because we're never going to be able to end human trafficking if we don't end those things, and that's just a part of the problem. Human trafficking is like this bullseye, whereas we've got everything having to do just straight up, um, you know, bullying to sexual assault and, man, all kinds of psychological manipulation. So this is a fantastic program. I really do like the fact that it has interactivity stuff inside of it. I'd like to try it on a phone, but I'm not that worried about it. Man, bravo. Bravo. I'd like to see this work into a class as well. There's more stuff to dig into. Not going to do it tonight. This is enough emotionally for me right now. But want to say thanks for tuning in and watching this, and I hope I do a somewhat decent job of writing this up as a blog. But wow, yeah, adults, my friends, yeah, you're going to be hearing about this. All right.